don't think you're sleeping. Can you come back in an hour? Need sleepy. Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
It's now time for the Billy C. Morning Show, part of the Billy C. Boxing Network. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calagione. It's time for the Billy C. Morning Show. Good morning to everybody. Special shout out to everyone watching us on Fight TV. What, you're not watching us on Fight TV? Well, you know, hey, you can watch us on your handheld. Just go to fight.tv. That's FITE.TV/Billy C. Download the app today for free and watch us for free forever on Fight TV. And also enjoy the other programming lineups on Fight TV. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant located in St. Simons Island, Georgia. Check out the website. See what we're always talking about, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. I'll give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by, you guessed it, my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. Only where all good books are sold. And you can literally get a copy of it, you know, right now while you're watching or listening to this show by visiting barnesandnoble.com. or Amazon.com. Find out why we got a 5-star rating across the board. And if you're looking to get a signed copy or a personalized, or put whatever you want on it, visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the book club section. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by our first post-fight show of the season, Badou Jack against James DeGale. We will be going live tomorrow as soon as the fight is over, approximately six minutes after the fight is over. You could tune it in right here on BillyCBoxing.com, on Fight.tv, or, of course, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkingboxing. We'll give you our thoughts of the fight, and we'll open up the phone lines to give you to let you give us your thoughts of the fight. And speaking of phone lines, we're going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later. Today's show, I want to talk about James DeGale against Badou Jack. We're going to preview, break down the fight, give you our predictions, and then go from there. But first, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to throw them at my main man. Oh, my main man? Who's my main man? Well, he's a New Jersey Boxing Hall of Famer. He is a Guinness Book of World Record holder. Oh, yeah, that's right. He can make a pretty damn good pizza, and then some. And he's older than me. Please welcome Sal Rocky Senicola. What's up, Sal?
Whoa, I just got that last one. Thank you, pal.
Hey, I threw that in there.
Maybe by a week or month or something. I don't know what. Yeah. But how you doing today, Bill?
Not too bad. Getting ready for our first post-fight show tomorrow, and I think we got a really good fight to talk about. It's a unification fight in the super middleweight division. We'll break that down. But, you know, I wanted to get your thoughts on a couple other things. First and foremost, I'm always thankful to our viewers and listeners who take the time to send me little tidbits, articles, links, stuff like that. My man Coach does it on a regular basis. And I want to thank my man Mitch, Chip or Mitch. I don't know what he likes to go by, but sometimes Mitch, sometimes Chip. But he sent me an interesting article that was written by Carlos Boggs, and basically it was about Floyd Mayweather's thoughts on Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev, and Mayweather felt that he felt that Ward should have lost the fight. He thought that Kovalev should have gotten awarded the victory. He disagrees with some of the people that immediately put Andre Ward at the top pound-for-pound list. He thinks Chocolito is the number one pound-for-pound, just like a lot of us here with the show do. And he had this to say, and I quote, "I like Andre Ward, but one thing about me, I call a spade a spade. Ward didn't win the fight. Chocolito has to be the number one pound-for-pound. He hasn't lost yet, and he's a hell of a fighter. Do I like Andre Ward? Yes, I do like Andre. But Andre Ward has got to make some major changes if you're going to fight a guy like Kovalev again. You got to make major changes. You got to go and get a trainer that's been in the crunch before. He says Virgil Hunter is not a good trainer at all. He said, that's just my honest opinion. Virgil Hunter's a great guy. He's a nice guy. He's never fought before, and he's never been in a crunch moment. How can you tell about a crunch moment if you've never been in a crunch moment? We were talking about this the other day, Sal. And
Yes,
I said that, no disrespect to Virgil Hunter, but I thought he was extremely overrated. And here, a guy like Mayweather coming out and saying the same thing. A lot of times you never know what to think about Mayweather's comments. But I have to, since I agree with him on this, since I agree with him on this,
right here or there.
since I agree with him on this, I got to say, hey, attaboy Floyd. So what do you think, man?
Hey! Well, I'll tell you what. I have to concur also with Floyd Mayweather. I feel the same way. And, hey, let's look. I remember Kayla, her son Riley, and I, we watched that fight, Kovalev versus Ward. And, man, I'll tell you, there was not a place in the arena that saw that Andre Ward won that fight. Everyone felt that Kovalev won that fight. And, aside from that, it was just... I agree with Mayweather. Hey, he said a mouthful right there, and he's poignant enough, and he's a public figure enough that it was picked up. And yeah, I'm glad you're sharing his thoughts on air.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard for me to say. I did have to spit out some.
Swallow with that coffee this
morning. I did have to spit out some crow. I think I did wipe a black feather off my mouth before the show started. But yeah, yes, you heard it here. I agree with Floyd Mayweather.
You do.
Virgil Hunter is not a great trainer, and Sergey Kovalev won the fight. But some other quick news I wanted to get to before we break down the big fight for this weekend is apparently it's official, Sal, and I know you're not going to be happy about this, but Manny Pacquiao against Jeff Horn will be fighting in April. The date, tentatively, because what's not official is the date and the location, but tentatively it looks like it's going to be taking place in Australia on April 23rd. I'm shocked at this. I really don't know what Manny Pacquiao, aside from getting a payday, is really going to get out of fighting a guy like Jeff Horn. Either he goes after or tries to go after a guy like Floyd or another big name, or just hang him up. I mean, does he really need the money? What's your thoughts on this fight?
Well, again, you and I have said from the beginning that the only fight that makes sense for Manny Pacquiao to do is to promote, to pull him back in, and to get this show on the road against Floyd Mayweather. These guys aren't getting any younger, and if Floyd's going to come back, the only fight that makes sense for him is Manny Pacquiao. It's a natural. This is the only fight that I think fans are wanting to see between these two combatants is Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. There's no need to waste time to go sidestep, to build up any more enthusiasm about it. And I don't see why he's going to take a chance of passing his baton or his legacy on to a lesser fighter than he would with Floyd Mayweather. It just doesn't make sense to me. No. And you know what? I'm sure there's some people out there that feel the same way. This is their way. They should go off into the sunset, one last fight, one last hurrah. And if it turns into be a fight that sets up a rubber match, so be it. Then we'll see who wants to pay for it. But like I said, it doesn't make sense. I don't see any other fight that these two fighters should do other than fighting each other. That's it. End of story.
Two more things I want to mention real quick, and then we'll start talking about the big fight this weekend. Remember the other day we were talking about Deontay Wilder and how he is saying that he wants to fight Joseph Parker as long as he feels okay, as long as he wins, as long as he doesn't have an injury and all these things. Right, as long as all those things happen, the sun's alive and everything. Well, there was a response basically from Team Joseph Parker, and they basically said, we like what Wilder's saying. He's on the same page as we are. the heavyweight division needs to unify the champions. He says it's all a matter of, they said, which is David Higgins of Duco Events, the promoter of Joseph Parker, said it's all a matter of risk and reward, but a risky fight is worth it if the circumstances are right. He says the key guy in negotiations is Al Haymon, but we've yet to hear from him to discuss terms of making a deal. He says it might be that Deontay Wilder wants this fight and Haymon doesn't, but Wilder's comments were pretty straightforward, and I think Deontay Wilder deserves credit for wanting to pursue the fight. Now, this is coming from Team Parker, and when I read in between the lines of this, I say to myself, is this, as far as Al Haymon, is this an indication, and should Deontay Wilder be reading it the way I am, that Deontay's team, Sal, knows what we say, that Deontay's basically a fraud, and poor Deontay he's not in, he didn't get a copy of that memo. Could that be why that they're not talking about, the possibility of this fight happening? I mean, what's your thoughts on the news that Team Parker says, hey, we'll fight Deontay, but Al Haymon is disconnecting his phone?
Well, and that's what we have said as well. How much input and, I guess, direction does Deontay Wilder have in his own path, his own career, and that he is touting out? We've often said that, we can't blame Deontay Wilder for his lack of action to step up to fight the best in the heavyweight division if it's not his own being proactive to try and take the steps to seek the best. He could only believe how good he really is in his mind and what his team around Deontay Wilder promotes him to be. And a lot of times these managers and promoters either protect some fighters or steer them in a nice direction to help elongate their reign and other things else. And we know this. So how much input does Deontay Wilder have to say, hey, I want to fight the best. I want to do this. He should. I mean, that's what fighters should do.
At the end of the day, you know as well as anybody that if a fighter really wants a fight, he goes to the people that matter and say, make the fight. I don't care. Make the fight. One last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the fight breakdown is it was announced yesterday that the Nevada State Athletic Commission is considering removing marijuana, the good old weed, from the prohibited substance list for fighters. It comes on the heels of the legalization of adults 21 and over to possess up to an ounce of the smoky in the state of Nevada. And I think it kind of makes sense if it's legal to possess it. It's the same as it's legal to have a drink if you're old enough and all the rules apply. Then it's not illegal in the state. So therefore, fighters that are licensed in that state should be allowed to use it if they want. And quite honestly, I can't see how marijuana can aid a fighter in fighting better. It's not like it's a performance-enhancing drug. As a matter of fact, it would slow them down, I would think. But if that happens, then I think that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Should be pretty pissed off because if you recall, he was fined a ton of money for testing positive for the smoky.
He was. I'll tell you. We keep lowering the benchmark, and so we'll see what happens. I mean, they're legalizing it medicinally and everything else. But, if they want to do that, that's happy for them. Yeah, and there's other articles opposing it with the marijuana effects may have long-term on some people that use it for entertainment purposes, not medicinal purposes. But, hey, to each his own. I'm not going to...
Hey, listen, the only negative I could see, Sal, is that fighters that smoke a little pot during their training might have a hard time making weight because they're shoving chips down their throat after they smoke, So
You're right. You're right.
Anyway, or they could kill two birds with one stone and have a couple of pot brownies. You know what I'm talking about? Get the effect and eat. But anyway, Badou Jack against James DeGale.
Badou Jack, that's a fight.
Big fight this weekend. Badou Jack and James DeGale had a couple of quotes. Jack says, I'm going in there to break him down. I'm going in there to be the better fighter. If I get an opportunity to land something that can change the fight, I'm going to take that chance. I believe I can knock anybody out who gets in the ring with me. If you don't believe that in yourself, then you're in the wrong sport. I'm not expecting an easy fight, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. DeGale said movement, speed, and angles are my keys. If I'm focused and I take no rounds off, that should do it. I will do it. Anything can happen in boxing, but I'm too prepared for this. I look at Badou Jack, even though he's been getting better, I think I'm a much better fighter. He's very high quality, and I have to be on my game. It's going to be a great fight, but I will be victorious. Both of them, sound like what you're supposed to say. The only question I have is James DeGale says, if I'm focused and if I don't take any rounds off. That to me sounds like a little, he's doubting himself. What do you think of that?
Fortunately, he doesn't have to worry about his hand, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, Badou Jack against James DeGale. If you don't know, we're doing a post-fight show here immediately after the fight. It will be tomorrow night, so approximately 6 minutes after the official announcement is rendered. Make sure you tune in right here, BillyCBoxing.com, or our YouTube channel, youtube.talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing. That would be youtube.com/talkinboxing. I'm sorry, there's no dot there. And, of course, on Fight TV. Now, Badou Jack, Sal, he comes into this. He's the Ripper. Comes into this fight. The computer has him at number 9. Now, I love the computer rankings. I do not look at the rankings of the sanctioning bodies anymore because I think they're all, quite honestly, bullshit. So I look at those rankings. He's ranked at number 9, which I think is legit. He's 6'1". He's got a 73-inch reach. He's 33 years old, which... that kind of flew under my radar a little bit. I didn't realize that he was 33 already, but he is. He's got a record of 20 wins, 12 coming by knockout with 1 loss. That loss was the devastating first-round knockout at the hands of Derek Edwards that our man Dax Khan was ringside for. And up to that point, with the exception of 2 fights that he had previously to Edwards, Porky Medina and the Marco Antonio Parabon fight, his resume is kind of weak, but since that fight, I give this guy a lot of credit, Sal, because he's gotten better and better and better. He picked up the world title belt in April of 2015 when he beat in a majority close decision over Anthony Durrell, and he is the WBC World Super Middleweight Champ. He followed that with a big win over George Groves, another close fight, and then his last fight was another draw with Lucien Boutte. So Badou Jack has 2 draws on his record. When you take a look at James DeGale, well, he's an accomplished amateur, and ironically enough, he won his title against the other Durrell brother a month later after Badou Jack won his. James DeGale won his in May of 2015, and he too has a fight with Porky Medina and Lucien Boutte. The difference is they were both dominating wins. I think when you look at James DeGale, his resume is much thicker. It's better. He is a southpaw. The computer sees him at number 4. He is 3 years younger than Badou Jack. I'm loving this fight. I love the matchup. It's a good fight. My prediction on this fight, I'll give you in a second. But what's your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight. You got good contrasted styles. You got good stories behind these guys, and I don't know. I'm going to flip a coin by the end of the show and tell you who I think is going to win. But it could be a real good contest, and I'm looking forward to seeing this fight tomorrow night.
Well, I think that this is the way I see it. And Dax...
Let me hear how you see it.
Dax Khan... here, let me put my glasses on. Dax Khan is going to be coming on here in a little while, and he'll be giving us his thoughts. But first and foremost, I just want to say this. As far as Jack is concerned, I love the fact that he has gotten back up on that horse, Sal. And not only has he won fights since the devastating knockout loss, I honestly believe that he has gotten to be a much better fighter. I also think that he's gotten a little smarter. When your hand fed cupcake after cupcake, you start to believe your own press clippings, similar to what my gripes are with Deontay Wilder. And I think at least Badou Jack was handed a dose of reality in form of a first-round knockout loss. And he bettered his game, and he's gotten to be a much better fighter. But with that said, I think James DeGale is a much more complete fighter. And I think James DeGale has been there, done that. He's been in the on the high end, not only in his professional career but also as an amateur. He too has a loss. It was a close majority decision loss to George Groves, but he's got some big wins against relevant opponents at the time. One of them was Brandon Gonzalez, who was a big, highly touted fighter back in 2014. Stefan Bosic, Sebastian Demures was another good one at the time they fought. Fluenzio Zuniga, Porky Medina, the win over Butte last November. Or actually the November before. I think, and the computer sees him at number 4, which tells you that the way the mathematics works out, he's the better fighter. As much as I like Badou Jack, and as much as Badou Jack is kind of the hometown fighter here, even though both of these guys are coming to New York, I think I'm going to go on the ledge here. I'm picking James DeGale to win this fight. I think it's going to be a close fight. I started leaning towards him after Alex was talking about him the other day, and I think Alex made some great points. He's a better boxer, and I think that he's going to. I think that Badou Jack is going to fight a little cautiously, which won't help him. I'm not so sure I believe his quotes, but I'm picking DeGale in this fight, brother.
Well, I'll tell you, I am siding with DeGale as well, for some of the same reasons you did say. And, I give Jack a lot of credit, because coming back from a devastating knockout, whether you get over that little hint of doubt in your mind, and he looks like he's been able to overcome that devastating knockout, as you said. But, like I said, James DeGale is maybe a little more well-rounded as a complete fighter, and he's been in these situations, and I think he's going to probably, if everything's on the up, it'll be a good fight and maybe go the distance, but I think James DeGale could have a good victory that night.
One other quick thing I'm going to mention, and before I read 2 emails, is the co-main event. Gervonta Davis is challenging Jose Sniper Pedraza for his IBF super featherweight title. When I look at this fight, I know Gervonta Davis is a highly touted prospect. I just don't see him in the same class as Jose Pedraza. He is a knockout puncher, Davis, 94%. 15 of his 16 wins all coming by knockout. But his resume is a little weak. Jose Pedraza has fought some tough opposition on his way up. And then when he won the title against Andrei Kilmov, he followed that with 2 pretty tough title defenses. One against Edgar Cherry, which was a tougher fight than he bargained for, and then Stephen Smith in his last fight last April. So I think this is going to be an interesting co-feature, but I think that Gervonta Davis's run might come to an end, but we'll see. Pedraza's got the height over him. He's got the reach. He's doesn't have the knockout pop that Davis has, but he certainly has the boxing ability. So both fights we'll be talking about tomorrow after they're over. 2 emails here. Then we're going to hear from Dax Khan, and then we'll open up the phone lines and hear from some listeners and get their thoughts. First and foremost, my man Jesse. He says, "Happy New Year, Billy C. and Sal." He says,
thank you, Jesse. Same to you, pal.
He says, "Hey, I agree with Billy that Canelo has taken a wrong turn for the worse right now for his career. Fighting these guys like Smith and now possibly Islam will not enhance his career into great boxer history. He once said he wanted to be like Ali, But to do that, you have to beat the guys on top. I think the Chavez Jr. talks were not so serious, just to make some noise in the boxing world. Well, I will say this, Oscar De La Hoya was quoted as saying, "Come on, Junior, we want to make this fight, sign the paper." So I think it was a little more serious than you might think, Jess. He says, "I would be very disappointing if Pac-Man returns to face Horn. This is a waste for boxing fans. I hope that his countrymen won't support this fight. Fight Brooks if he's ready, or Crawford." Got to agree with Jesse here, right, Sal? I mean, we both pretty much said the same thing, right?
We did. Absolutely.
And finally, he says, my picks for the weekend. He thinks Pedraza is going to beat Davis by a split decision. Kaitrov over Allen by a late TKO. And he says Jack over DeGale with a unanimous decision. Unanimous decision. In that
Unification.
Yeah, it was one of those. But anyway, thanks for the email. Good picks there. And finally, we got another one here. This one's from my man Joel. He says, hey, Billy C., with Triple G and Jacobs scheduled for March, do you think the real reason Haymon is working with other promoters is because his PBC series has bled so much money last year, so that he feels forced the only way to make money is to work out deals to have his fighters fight non-Haymon fighters? While I'm certainly ordering the Triple G Jacobs fight, I feel that's partially the reason we're seeing the fight. What are your and Sal's thoughts? Well, first and foremost, I want to say this, Sal. Al Haymon, as much as we know he's got his hands in multiple cookie jars when it comes to titles in terms of promoter, manager, etc., he's not really a promoter. And as far as the PBC series goes, he never spent any of his money. All these people that make it like Al Haymon was trying to save boxing, and he opens up his checkbook and starts writing checks and signing fighters and everything. Let me just explain something to everybody, all right? Al Haymon is a businessman. Al Haymon was a guy that busted onto the scene and painted the picture that he was here to save boxing. But the truth is, he was here to add more money in Al Haymon's bank account. And the reason why I say that is because the $480 million that he spent on the PBC series was not one penny of it was his. All of the fighters that he signed, just ask the investors from Waddle and Reed, because that's whose money it was. And they did not make a nickel, all right? All the money that he got for his fighters that came out of that chest full of cash, so to speak, from Waddle and Reed's investors, went to fight purses, and Al Haymon got his cut. Now, as an end result, at the end of the day, all Al Haymon cares about is getting his cut of the purses from the fighters and any other side deal he might make with a network for bringing the fights. The reason why we don't see the PBC scheduled as much this year, although the first one is tonight, is because he was not making the money from sponsorships and advertisers, and they were paying the networks. Well, that is gone now. Now they're expecting the networks to pay him, and the end result is, well, they're not. So, yes, I'm not surprised that you're going to, and you will see it more often, because the big-name fighters that are under Al Haymon's tutelage, so to speak, have to fight other fighters, because Al Haymon doesn't really have the market on all of them. If you look at the top fighters right now, they're not signed with Al Haymon. Yes, there are some like the Deontay Wilders in the world, etc. But the big names like Triple G and Gonzalez and even Andre Ward, if you want to throw him in, Kovalev, none of them are signed with Al Haymon. So in order to have the right fight, you got to have the right dance partner. So I think he's being just pulling a business move. What do you think, Sal?
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, I have to agree and also give a sidebar here. I mean, yes, Al Haymon is a businessman, and he's done very well for himself with this whole resurrection and the whole thing with the PBC. But I will tell you this, though. He did give us some pretty damn good fights at times last year. And I think that his attempt tonight will also look to do. But, I think he had something, and he has something that if you're very, very careful with it, and you do get the interest of some people that start sponsoring and get on the bandwagon with him. Like I said, I hope to think that all of that money and all of those fights and all of the things that we did see for free last year does not go to waste. That somehow that they could dovetail it around another rapper and make it become a little more of a staple that we could expect to see from good top fighters to be showcased on major networks such as the PBC, and it'll be free TV, free fights like the good old days. So let's hope it's not all just a total waste, and it wasn't just him lining his pockets. Maybe he had a little good Johnny Appleseed dose of reality. Here's what we're going to try to cultivate for the future of boxing for the next couple of years. I'm hoping that. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, just remember one thing, that it was for free for us. But he paid the networks, and
he paid the networks,
and the networks see that there wasn't that much revenue generated from advertising and stuff. So for them to turn around and all of a sudden write a check for the same product, it's not happening, and that's why they don't have the as many networks. His model basically backfired. Now, what he's trying to do to remedy that, we'll see. We're gonna see the beginning of it.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he's got to do another sidestep to try and either get more investors or more. He's got to make a different approach this year.
Who else would invest? They lost almost $500 million. I mean,
someone with that kind of money needs a tax write-off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what.
He's got $500 million to throw into an entrepreneurial venture. Guess what? You're looking at it like, hey, you know what? Hey, if it doesn't work out, I'll have a tax deduction.
I don't know. Joining us right now, a guy that probably has that in his couch, Dax Khan. Hey, you got an extra $500 million in loose change in your couch, bro?
Locks of those doors, Dax.
I don't have an extra 500 cents in my pocket.
Big fight. Story about that later.
Big fight this week, and we got a couple of them kicking off our post-fight series. I know you're jacked up for the Badou James DeGale fight, and I got to be honest with you, Dax. Don't hate me because I love Badou, and I know you feel close with him too after seeing him so close, laying there unconscious in front of you. But he has come back a long way. I think he's in tough. I think DeGale is the better fighter. I mean, I know you got some thoughts and breakdowns. What do you think?
Well, I don't feel close with Badou, first of all. I just respect the guy considering, yes, I was right there. Matter of fact, after Jack is up and Charlie Fitch is counting him out, I'm the first guy Badou Jack is looking at. He's looking dead at me, going with his arms wide open, shaking his head like, what just happened here? But the reason why I am such a fan of his, a year later, he wins a world title. He picked himself back up, and in the Mayweather camp, Badou Jack is the guy who never was given his accolades, and he went on and was sort of that third man, the odd wheel, and just did his thing and won that world title while the other guys got a push that was unfair. So that's why I'm a Badou Jack fan, because you know what? No matter what I'm getting, I'm a fighter, and I'm going to do my thing. Now.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I like about him, and you and I have talked about him, plus we've talked about it on air here, is that he's gotten better. I mean, nobody can deny that, whether you like Jack or not. He's gotten better, right? I just don't know if he's better than DeGale.
So, always, Bill, I tell you all the time when we talk, the best way to make your decision is to go where?
There's a lot
the best way to make your decision on something is to go where? Behind those numbers.
Yeah, well, you got to go behind the numbers and
factual numbers, and not what's on the surface. When you look at these guys, they're so very evenly matched. I believe Badou Jack has an inch in height reach. James DeGale has an inch in reach. They have a lot of common opponents together. They have George Groves, who has a win over DeGale, a split decision. Then you have Lucien Boutte, who DeGale has a win over, but Badou Jack has a draw with. But again, remember, Lucien Boutte tested dirty for that fight. Now
yeah, but
you
wait
have
a minute.
Rogelio Medina, Porky Medina, tough guy. Badou Jack knocked him out right before he lost the fight to Derek Edwards, and James DeGale went the distance with him. Badou Jack actually kind of faced a better version of Porky Medina. And then you have Marco Antonio Parabon. Now, he lost to DeGale by TKO, and he drew with Jack in 2013. Again, sort of a better version of Parabon that Badou Jack faced. This is exactly to the point where we were stating how Badou Jack has evolved. He slowly is realizing that you have to go out there, and it's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a race to the end, to the finish, to see exactly what you have to do. You have 12 rounds to get things done. Now, James DeGale, make no mistake, he's mobile, he's agile, the way he moves around. I think that can give Badou Jack a lot of trouble. But I think Jack, if he's able to remain calm and keep his head about him, he'll slowly walk James DeGale down, and he'll score points. I don't think he's going to get a knockout, but I think he's going to score points and enough to get himself a decision. Even when you look at their world title wins, as you stated before, it's a month apart. One won their title against Anthony Durrell, which is Badou Jack. Anthony Durrell at the time had a lot of momentum. He had just been in some very high-quality fights. He'd been in those wars with Bika. And then DeGale, he won his against Andre, who has always had a question mark in my mind. A great boxer, not very strong when it comes to mental toughness. We've seen that anytime when he faced Carl Froch in every fight afterwards. So I actually think that Badou Jack had the tougher road, the tougher of the Durrell brothers winning the title. So I think Badou Jack, so long as the change in trainers, and now that he's back with Lou DeValle, doesn't, kind of throw his rhythm off, his momentum, nothing gets him out of his groove, I really think that Badou Jack should edge this out.
I thought that was one of his mistakes. I thought he should have stayed with Eddie Mustafa Muhammad because he was working. He did improve under Eddie. He did. I think Eddie was in his corner when he got knocked out, wasn't he?
Yes, and what happened? What happened there is right before he fought that fight with Porky Medina, and he dominated Porky Medina for the most part outside that first round. And he came out and he really thought there was going to be sort of a feeling out round. Derek Edwards did not come in with the mindset of an opponent. Also Badou Jack, on that card, he was the third man out. So I really think he was looking to kind of put on a show there, and he wasn't, expecting Derek Edwards just to come out and swinging. A tactical mistake on his behalf. Remember, that night, the headliners, even on the bill, was Jay Leon Love and Mickey Bay. Mickey Bay never even bothered to show up, and Jay Leon Love was fighting a very faded Vladimir Biasi, and Jay Leon Love went to war in that fight. He almost lost that fight. So Badou Jack, he's more or less, he's a made man. He's on a great team. Mayweather Promotions, he should have all that push behind him. But Badou Jack, every accolade he gets, he has to do on his own. And I don't think this is going to be any different. Last night when I was at the Nets and the Pelicans game, actually I think James DeGale was there. Badou Jack wasn't, but I know Floyd was there. So, again, Badou Jack might be the guy taking it a little bit more serious. He was in his hotel room resting to make sure he's good for the weigh-in today and prepared for Saturday.
Or DeGale is looser. I don't know. It's going to be a decent fight for sure. The co-main event, which also we'll be talking about on the post-fight show tomorrow, Jose Pedraza is going up against Gervonta Davis. Davis hasn't fought anybody close to Pedraza. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Well, Pedraza, I think he's a decent fighter. I don't think he is anything special. He won his title against Andrei Klimov a couple of years ago. I actually think he lost to Edner Cherry. The split decision went in the wrong way, in my opinion. He had that win against Stephen Smith. He hasn't had a stoppage in a couple of years. The last time he had stoppages, neither guy was anything more than a B level. Davis, he's a hard puncher. He has no names on his resume. But you know something? He does have skill. He has talent. He knows how to put those punches together. He has great footwork. I think that his hands are just going to be a little bit too fast for Pedraza, who likes to start the fight too slow.
Well, that would be a huge jump for Davis, and it would be interesting because, one of my big pet peeves, as everybody knows, is I can't stand when fighters are fed those cupcake after cupcake and then get an opportunity just like Gervonta Davis is getting tomorrow night. You know, a shot at a title.
Yeah, he had 16 fights, so, but, you know, as I said Monday, Bill, not to interrupt you, the bigger prize here, win or lose, as long as both these fighters put on a solid performance, because neither one is really well known to the mass boxing audience. You know, the very dedicated diehard fans, yes, but, you know, not the mass audience. You know, Vasyl Lomachenko and Francisco Vargas are the two big stars of that division. You know, Lomachenko, arguably the best fighter in the division pound for pound. Vargas, you know, one of the most exciting in all of the sport, maybe the most exciting in the sport in terms of all action. Just to be considered and have your name mentioned alongside them as a possible opponent when they're speaking on the networks, when they're writing in magazines, whether they're talking on social media, that boosts your career right there. So this is important for both of these guys more than the title, because in this era, you can always get yourself another title belt. They're a dime a dozen. No disrespect to any of the champions, but, you know, it's a lot easier to get a title these days than it is to get that mainstream exposure and have your name talked about on a regular basis.
100%, I agree with you, man. It's very well put. So, well, it sounds good, man, and we'll be looking forward to you, especially tomorrow night, as soon as the fight is over, to give us your thoughts. And I'm excited about our post-fight series, Dax, because I think that it's something that we do well, and I think the viewers and listeners like it. And I'm not going to ask you anything about the Erslandy Lara Yuri Foreman fight that's scheduled for tonight, because to me it's a complete joke of a fight. But nonetheless, we'll be looking forward to you tomorrow, brother.
All right, absolutely. And you know, on Monday we'll talk about my experience at the center last night. You know, that was horrible, but, you know, definitely tomorrow I'm looking forward to the whole card, and it's going to be a great year, and I'm looking forward to all these post-fight shows, definitely.
All right, my man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good day.
Take
care, Dax.
That's my man, Dax Khan. And, he had a bad time at the Brooklyn, at the Barclays Center.
I guess he did. I'd like to hear about it,
at
but
the Barclays Center.
Hear it.
Hey, listen, it's fan-driven Friday. We're going to open up the phone lines right now. So you want to call in, give us a shout. Otherwise, Sal and I are going to go take a nap. Obviously, we're in different places, far away.
Yeah, easy.
845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. Give us a call with your thoughts. One thought I have about the Badou James DeGale fight, they announced who the referee and the rest of the officials will be for this fight tomorrow. And, you know, there's been a lot of discussion. There's been some more articles written and talk about the situation with professional boxing in the state of New York, thanks to Governor Governor Cuomo. He's clearly a guy that makes decisions and passes laws without thinking them through. He did it with the gun law, making any kind of gun with 7 bullets or more illegal, without realizing that all his policemen carry guns with 15 rounds in it. You know, so he had to quickly amend that. And I think they did the same thing when they came up with this extended, the possibility of an extended brain injury insurance, considering no insurance writer carries it. The UFC had their own insurance policy in place to cover that, and that's how they got in. I don't know the particulars of the fights that are going to be taking place tomorrow in New York, but obviously somebody got insurance. But what bothers me the most about this fight is the referee that has been appointed for the Badou James DeGale fight, and that's Art McCanty Jr. Now, Art McCanty Jr. has gotten better in his ways of refereeing, but I think that this guy is clearly nothing like his pops, and I think it's bad to have Art McCanty basically rewarded for his piss-poor refereeing over the years with a big fight like this, when there's so many other good referees in the state of New York. Art McCanty Jr., if you recall, was a guy that the Yuri Foreman fight, when he was fighting Miguel Cotto at Yankee Stadium, Yuri Foreman basically was fighting on one leg, and the corner threw in the towel. And Art McCanty threw it back at them and said to the fighter, "Suck it up, kid. Come on, you're a tough guy. Suck it up, suck it up." You know, and I think he put the fighter in harm's way. I've been ringside many times when Art McCanty Jr. Roughs up the fighters. He degrades them. He goes beyond what he's supposed to be doing in there. And instead of being chastised for it, he's rewarded. So I'm a little shocked that the New York State Athletic Commission has put him as the third man in the ring. But then again, the New York State Athletic Commission currently is being run by a guy that doesn't know a left hook from a fish hook, Sal.
Well, you just said it right there. Look at the fundamental truths of where it's all coming down from. And, it has to be, leadership or lack thereof of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame. Hey, what's your thoughts? 845-228-8710. The phone line is open. If no one has any thoughts, then they want to wait till tomorrow. That's fine with me, Sal. I mean, I don't have any problems getting out of here a little early. What about you?
I have a whole day full, Bill. We got. I love the show, and I love to talk to the listeners and everything else. But I got payroll to do, and I've got an opening performance tonight to do, and so I'll be studying my lines as well in between going to the pizzeria and making sure we got things going up there too.
How's everything going there? How's my man Max?
Max is doing great. He's tossing and doing well. He's listening in too. He listens to the show all the time, and in fact, we should have him call in maybe next Friday.
Yeah, cool. So he's back. Everything's good.
He's back. Yeah, he just took a couple days off. He had to rest his body, and he's doing well now. And he is all back. So he's back in the saddle again.
Yes, we gotta. We keep talking about your restaurant and how beautiful and how beautiful St. Simon's is and stuff. At some point in the near future, this year, we should plan something where people can come down and maybe we'll just hang out with people for a week or so, or do our show there, or something. I'm looking forward to doing something like that. I think it might be a good idea.
I think it's a brilliant idea, Bill. In fact, you know what? I know we've mentioned it a few times, but let's see what we can do to make that a reality. Maybe sometime maybe in August might work well for us.
Yeah,
and
I'm curious to know from you guys out there. Would you be interested in coming down if we hooked you up with a place to stay? Not us, but I mean, give you some places to stay that we would recommend, and places to eat. I know a good place to eat. It's right next to Sal's place. No,
Sal, it's easy.
You guys can come down.
Hey, that would be great. Can you imagine? You come down for about a week, Bill. And we get some of the listeners that want to piggyback and come on in. They can come to the restaurant. We could do the show live in the restaurant or at the hotel. We could put you up in with all the guys there. We might be able to put a real neat package together. Have some golf available, have some good eating available, and touring.
How about a Billy C and Sal C golf tournament?
I like it. I like it. I'll be out there at my pool cue.
I don't even play golf, No,
neither do I.
But I would. We got some PGA rated courses in St. Simon's, and it would be great.
We do. We've got a lot of professional golfers on St. Simon's. They come to the pizzeria all the time.
So for you guys out there, would you be interested? If you're interested, drop me an email. And
I think it's great. Let's make this happen.
Well, Bill. What I'll do is I'll get together a list of people that are interested, and then we'll see what kind of deals we can get locally for them, and we'll make it happen. We'll have a week where you can hang out with us, and you guys could buy me scotches and take me out. I mean, I think that's a great idea for them to
Bill,
treat me.
I don't want to get you in trouble on the island, pal.
Oh, why? Why? Am I still banned? Am I still banned from the island?
No, you're not banned. You're not banned.
Oh.
But I know when we get scotch and we get the night out of town, it might be trouble for both of us.
Well, the last time you broke out the blue bottle,
I broke out the Johnny Walker Blue.
and then after that, I remember stopping at the rest area just before I pulled off to get off your exit, and I could have sworn I saw, like what you see in the post office. I could have sworn I saw a picture of myself with a red line through it that I wasn't allowed in the state anymore. I don't know what that was about, but hey, listen, we got a caller on the line right now. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Max.
Hey, Max.
Yeah, I just told you. There he goes. Maxie, how you doing, buddy?
He is listening. Hey, Max,
What's
is
up,
it true?
gentlemen? How we doing?
Hey, Max, is it true? Am I thrown out of the town? Is St. Simon's, they don't let me in anymore? What? What's up with
Get
that?
that idea.
We'll let another Yankee in the town. Don't worry.
Hey, I'm a Met.
Even if he is a Jets fan, you know.
Hey, I'm a loser too. What can I tell you? I'm a Jet fan. Hey Max, all my teams are out. The Mets obviously didn't make it. The Jets didn't even start, and I'm a Bama fan, so I was crushed with that loss.
Our tide didn't roll very high.
No, it didn't.
They played a tough game, but that came down to the last minute.
And you had to be going for the SEC team, right?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely SEC all the way.
Right. Because even though they want me in St. Simon's, I'm a Bulldog fan. You know that. I love that quarterback. Yeah. I can't wait, man. Yeah, we're trying to. What do you think? You think we should put together a week? Billy C and Sal get together, do some golfing, eat some pizzas or whatever. And what do you think? You think people would want that?
The radio show out of the restaurant in the morning. I think it'd be great.
Oh yeah, it'd be a great thing. Yeah, it'd be a good thing.
Yeah, I think we're gonna work on that, brother.
We're gonna develop. It's in the developmental stage.
So
I'll make
Max,
sure I brush my hair for that day.
Yeah, well, I know you got to stop wearing it in a ponytail. But listen, hey, you know how big you know this guy Sal, right? And you know that let's be real. Sal's ego it doesn't even fit in the restaurant. That's why you guys make him stay down below in his office. But
easy.
Now that he thinks he's a big actor, I mean, how bad is it getting, Max? Come on, tell me the truth. Is he getting worse?
Oh no, he's doing good. He's doing real good. He's the new. He's the next Hollywood.
Yeah,
he's got it going on.
Oh, good. I think that deserves a raise, Sal. You owe Max a raise right now because he kept it he kept it under wraps. He kept your ego under wraps. So he's loyal. He's a soldier, 100%. Ex-Marine, right?
Funny. Hey, you know what I love about Max too? Here he is. He's born and raised in good old Georgia, and I love this state of Georgia. And you know whose favorite football and baseball team is? Professional football and baseball teams are? Yeah,
the same. The brainwashed teams that you probably held them down. You know what, Max?
Big.
No, but you know why? But the reason why is because he said, "What do I got to do for you to stop playing that freaking CD, Sal?" And you said, "All you got to do is be a Giant fan and a Yankee fan." So Max says, "All right, I'm a Yankee and a Giant fan," and you finally took that CD out. Come on, man. I know the deal. When you walk out of the room, these guys tell me what's going on in that restaurant.
You know what? I think you're right.
No, I've been a Yankee fan since I was a little kid. I remember days going out to the old Yankee Stadium. My granddad back in the day, so that was good times. Always watching the pinstripes.
Well, they're in a rebuilding state now. You're better off switching teams. The Mets are going to do well.
I'd never jump.
I know that. Hey, neither do I. That's why I'm still a Jet fan.
In all due respect, too, though, we always do root for the Atlanta teams as well. I mean, we got the Braves and the Falcons, and we have a lot of times we got the owners.
The Falcons got a real big game this weekend too against Seattle. So
I think they're going to beat Seattle. I think that the Falcons are a good team home, and I think Seattle is a great team when they're home. But when they're on the road, they're mediocre at best. I think Atlanta's in a good position to get to the championship game, but once they get to the championship game, I don't know. I don't think that they could beat either the Packers or the Cowboys. What do you think, Max?
I think, as far as the Packers and the Cowboys, I'd like to see the Cowboys do it, but I think the team still, they've done a great job in the regular season, but with that rookie quarterback and the rookie running back, it's going against the Packers. That's a tough team right there. The Packers, I think, might take them out. And, the Packers are liable to pick the Falcons up because, hey, Falcons play good, but once they get into the postseason, they end up choking.
Yep. No, they do, and I think you're right with the Cowboys. I'm nervous. I did predict the Cowboys and Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple weeks back, and I think you make a great point. Because veteran teams know how to handle the bye week. Teams that aren't used to a bye week basically get out of sync, get out of rhythm. And I think that you make a great point. And when you add the fact that the two leaders of that team are rookies, the Cowboys, despite being home this weekend, are in trouble against arguably the hottest team. The two hottest teams in the NFL right now are the Packers and the Steelers. So both of those teams are dangerous.
The Packers have got one hell of a defense, so it's anything could happen in that game.
But they're hurt. Jody Nelson's out. Their two other receivers are banged up. The running back who is a receiver is banged up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that game, man.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Hey, start spreading the word that we're going to do an event sometime in August, and we'll start getting people to drop us an email and get their name on the list. So once we get all of the particulars, we'll get it out to them.
Yeah, Billy, I think we can definitely do something. I think maybe we'll talk to our friends at the Sea Palms or at the King and Prince, and we'll see if we can put a nice little deal together.
I think the Sea Palms and do like some kind of a golf outing.
Yeah,
would be
they
cool.
Would like that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we can invite locals to it, and we can invite all of our listeners and fans and stuff, and maybe get some celebs down there with us. And
maybe what? I'm gonna give a phone call to my old buddies Bobby Ches, maybe Vinny Pazienza. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, Vinny Paz. I mean, you guys could talk about being movie stars together.
Why not? We'll bring them on the island.
Sounds good. Hey, Max, thanks for calling in, brother.
All right, guys, have a great day. See you soon.
Maxie, I'll talk to you soon, pal. Thank you.
All right, buddy. See you. Bye.
Max is a great guy. For all you guys that are going to come down and see us, one of the people that I will introduce you to first is my man Max, because face it, Sal, without Max, Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian restaurant wouldn't be as successful as it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're just glad we have Max on board. He does a great job.
Yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing, and he's a guy that you can rely on for sure.
Absolutely.
But anyway, if you guys are interested in coming down for a week, we are thinking of August when, if you got family, kids, it's a great place. St. Simon is a great place to bring the family. Drop me an email. We'll put you on a list. There is going to be limited availability. We don't know. We're just talking about it now, so we don't know what kind of hotel deals we can get for you. But drop me an email if you're interested. We're shooting for the second week in August. So drop me an email, Billy@TalkinBoxing. That's TalkinBoxing.com. We want you to be there. And you got to come down at least for the food. Ask anybody who has been to Sal's restaurant and ate some of his fantabulous food, and they'll tell you it's worth the trip just to go eat, let alone, then you get to, have to hang out with me a little bit too, and maybe throw, hit a golf ball around or go fishing or whatever. Man, we should get into the vacation business, because we could put together a nice package for everyone.
We put together a nice tour.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it with my buddy Massimo and let him become the new Mario Perillo. Perillo tours to Italy.
Yeah,
I can't say that, but I know Mario Perillo's son, Junior, is doing a great job, knockout job.
You want to give out their phone number and how they can, do business with them, you bastard? Stop promoting everybody.
I'm trying to get all these. I'm trying to get everybody on board. Bro.
I'm trying to promote. I'm trying to promote something that we could get people to come down and hang out with us, and you throw the softball right back into Perillo tours to Italy. Come on, man.
Oh no, we're gonna make a Perillo. Hey, we're gonna make a Perillo tour to Georgia. It's a short flight. You don't need a passport. You don't need too much money. We'll bring you here.
I don't know, man. I can't wait to get there. I gotta have a talk with Kayla. She's got to straighten you out, man. I don't know, but
she's trying. We got a lot of things we're planning.
I tell you what, she's ready to throw in the towel, man. I mean, you might be impossible.
Hey,
I don't know.
If she doesn't get a ring suit or something, she might do that.
There you go.
I'm giving the ultimatum now.
There you go. Hey, listen, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages. Sal and I and Dax and the rest of the crew, plus you, because we're going to open up the phone lines, are all going to be here tomorrow, right after the big fight, the unification super middleweight fight, if you will, between James DeGale and Badou Jack. It will be live, and then approximately 6 minutes after the official announcement is made, we will be here live giving you our thoughts, and then, of course, we will be opening up the phone lines to get your thoughts. One of the things we are doing differently in 2017 is we plan on having many, many more post-fight shows. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a post-fight show after every major fight, whether we're live someplace or right here from this studio. We will be doing them, and it's something that a lot of you have requested, and we're aiming to please. Another thing I want to point out about some changes here in 2017, we are revamping the website. It's going to be a lot simple website. You'll see the columns from all of our writers, and then the news, and then basically links to our other avenues, the YouTube channel, the Fight TV, of course, Sal's Restaurant, etc., all of that stuff. But we're going to streamline it, so to speak. And one of the sad things that are going is our Billy C Challenge. I made that official the other day and sent an email out to all of the Billy C Challengers who have been with us a long time. We've been doing this for many, many years now. Some of the direction that we plan on going, it's too time consuming. So I just want to thank all of the participants in the Billy C Challenge over the years. We had a great run, and we loved it. I have not posted the December of 2016 or the year-end winners yet on the website. I will do it within this week coming, the week that's coming up now, and it will be left up there until the end of the month, and then that section of the website will be going. So it may not be gone forever. We may bring it back midway through the year. We may bring it back for 2018. 2018, geez, Sal, time is flying, isn't it?
2018? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it is flying.
Yeah,
it is flying. You have any predictions for 2018? No,
I'm getting through 20. I'm scared. I just want to get through 2017.
Let's welcome this year.
I want to. Listen. I'm all jacked up now. We just came up with this idea. I'm all jacked up about coming down there for a week in August.
Think it's a great idea.
And you know what I'm happy about. If we do that for a week, it'll give all of the listeners and viewers an opportunity to come down when they can. If they want to come on the weekend, during the week, if they want to stay for the week, stay for a day, maybe on their way someplace else. I don't know. I'm curious. Drop me an email if you're interested. We are going to be talking about this now since we talked about it. We're going to be talking about it. Give me an email, Billy@TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com. Hey, guess what happened on this day, January 13th, in boxing history, Sal?
I want to know. January 13th, what year?
Well, here you go. In 1941, Anton Christoforidis wins a 15-round decision over Melino Batina to win the vacant NBA World Light Heavyweight title, in Cleveland. On this day in 1933, Ben Gibi knocks out Frank Battaglia in the 12th round to win the vacant New York World Middleweight title. Took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City. On this day in 1996, Juan Kagi wins a 5-round technical decision over Frankie Randall to regain the WBA junior welterweight title. Took place in Miami. On this day in 1996, Carlo Murillo wins a 12-round decision over Hai Young Choi to win the WBA World Junior Flyweight title, and that took place in Miami, Florida, on the same card as the Juan Kagi. On this day in 1933, Freddie Miller wins a 10-round decision over Tommy Paul to win the World Featherweight title. Took place in Chi-Town. And on this day, January 13th, in 1890, Sal Senecola was born. No.
Hey, that's right. Oh, big.
I'm only kidding. Sal was born 10 years after that. But on this day in 1890, Billy Murphy knocks out Ike Weir in the 14th round to win the vacant world featherweight title, and that took place in San Francisco, California, on this day in 1890. Sal, concludes our show for today. I'm really looking forward to our first post-fight show. I'm even more so looking forward to our event this summer. And I don't know, you have any final thoughts?
I do. I think we're going to have a great time. You and I could talk about this, honing it in and making it a good reality. Like I said earlier, the media not only reports the news, they stimulate and create it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create a great event in August right here on the island, and I hope we get some great feedback from the fans and see what we could do to make it a good reality. Be a nice little getaway.
Yep.
And yes, let's hope that 2017 brings on some great fights, and we'll have a lot to talk about, past, present, and future. And I want to wish everybody a great weekend.
So don't forget, we're doing the Billy C. Badou, Jack, James DeGale post-fight show right here after the fight, approximately 6 minutes. So make sure you tune into our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing, or the Fight TV. You can watch us there. Download the app, fight.tv. That's FITE.tv/Billy C, or right here on Billy C Boxing. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for that. So I'll leave you with this. Until then, ciao, baby.